Hello traders, Lance Ippolito here, and the first thing I want to look at is will the snap bounce vanish? Like the title. But here I do want to look at Snapchat. I trade very odd stocks now. I don't trade your typical indexes, your Facebook apples as much as I used to, or the indexes because I feel like these stocks can move. You're not going to find Apple or Facebook or Google move up 5% a day, but these high beta, highly shorted names will, like a Snapchat, Weight Watchers, GoDaddy, Grubhub, uh, stocks like that. So Snap, Friday we saw an up move, nearly 5% with really, really short dated call buyers and Snapchat. I haven't seen really anything long dated, so it's a little concerning, but Snap, let's zoom in on it. So we had the break of the IPO price, and we really just started to liquidate here in Snap. Classic downtrend. This is even when the market was pretty strong. So earnings came out, they were pretty bad, but buyers stepped in on earnings. We actually went below the teens, and the buyers stepped in. So who's buying it? Is it institutions? Is it millennials? Well, what happened in Snap is, everyone got happy at the IPO price. They thought it would be a Facebook, and then the earnings came out, and all the longs got hit. So you see here, it took out the IPO price, went lower, and then buyers stepped in thinking it was a good buy. A lot of people waited to the first earnings event, see how it was, and figured, oh wow, Snapchat's down, 20%, let me buy it. So they bought it and then got punished. And it's been a long, long liquidation road ahead as it took out the low here. A lot of people got margin called and got stopped out. And then after this earnings event, when people were like, okay, well, I'm going to finally buy it now, then they got stopped out or margin called. So it looks like all the dumb money is out of Snap, all the big money is stepped in. You know, Funds have to find growth, so they turn to these high beta names. They're not going to get growth out of an SPY. So they have to turn to names to try to make returns. So they stepped in and bought it, and we have a full gap retracement here in Snap. So usually this is really bullish, especially on elevated volume, showing demand here in Snapchat. Um, if and I'm not in Snapchat yet, but I am debating, if we start to cross, I always say when we retrace just as quickly as we went down, we retraced up. So I'm looking for a little bit of consolidation here in Snap, um, and then looking for a move really just back up to 17. And then I think if we get back up to 17, we're going to have uh, a lot of retail investors step back in and say, wow, Snap's moving up. So we may have one last surge up, and then who knows what the earnings event next quarter will be. So Snap, I actually don't think it's too bad now. Looking for some consolidation. And even with the market being weak, I always joke around, but Snap is a flight to safety, as odd as that sounds. So another thing I'm looking at is the Russell 2000, and we are on the verge of a break here. Uh, some small buyers stepped in Friday, but this Russell is looking very, very weak. If we really break 134, I think we trade down to 130. And a lot of what makes up the Russell is a lot of banks. So if I'm looking at banks like Citigroup and JP Morgan, these things are classic downtrends where we have lower highs, lower lows. Another one was Goldman. Remember Goldman? Everyone was getting long Goldman right in this level here. Goldman, same pattern. They're starting to look all very bearish. Um, and JP Morgan, probably the best of the breed out of the banks, is starting to collapse. Um, and this, some political cone and stuff like that. But JP Morgan here, right on support. I think if Morgan breaks 90, we start trading here to the mid, or pardon me, 88, 87 range, just back into some demand levels. Because as quickly as we went up right here, we should retrace that pretty quickly to the downside. Hope it helps. Lance Ippolito here.